Yeah. Right. We back. This is Powermoves. Where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect.
Hey, we back. Tampa Bay, we're in the house.
Yeah, beautiful day in Tampa Bay, wasn't it?
Man, I don't know why I got this hoodie up. Yes, I do. I know why I got it on, but it was hot. 83.
Yes.
83 in February. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so to all my Northeastern friends, sorry.
Man, they get laughing at us when them hurricanes come around, though,
yes,
and the whole
do.
state is fleeing. So I'm not going to shine too hard on my Northeastern friends. Y'all buckle it up. Y'all keep it tight up there. It's going to be cold this weekend. You know what's up.
I know, because you getting ready to go to Chi-Town.
All-Star
Weekend.
We singing. Hey, the NBA is about to hit Chi-Town with a big time, but we're happy. You know, the basketball universe is coming together at a very special time. As you know,
yes.
Kobe Bryant's passing has really brought people together and really has given us all a lot to be thankful for and reflecting upon. Obviously, everybody is missing him, continuing to. And the big news is obviously the February 24th, they'll be doing a memorial for him.
The memorial trip, yes.
It was really hard, obviously, to figure out how to do it and how big it is, but Staples is the most fitting place. LA is the most fitting place. And the community, obviously, at large, is finally going to get to pay his last respect. He will never be forgotten, obviously, but it's a huge opportunity for all us all. I mean, there's so much challenge coming in and out of, you know, how his legacy, obviously, too, has played out. It didn't play well this past week in the media with Gayle King. I mean, we can go a whole lot of ways with this. So let's stay on the positive side. Let's just say, everybody, let's remember the good things about Kobe Bryant and his legacy and his life, you know, knowing that his wife and family have to carry on, and the whole city and the world has to carry on.
Absolutely.
As a man who, at a very young age, transitioned, and we're just so glad that we had opportunity to be and witness his gifts.
His greatness. And I got to make a statement about the whole, situation in the media. Mm-hmm. And my statement is,
because we're media now.
That's
so
right. That's right.
Can come at us too. So
I love Bishop Key.
Okay.
No, not Bishop. He's not a bishop. Pastor.
Okay.
John P. Key.
Okay.
Right?
John P. Key. That's a gospel singer.
Yes. And he's a pastor. Yeah.
He leads church.
And he mentioned a very good point. And his point was, in summary, is, I want to have a friend like Lisa Leslie. So when we think about this whole debacle, whatever point of view you're at, I'm taking it high, and the high note I'm taking is, it's good to have friends like Lisa Leslie, and she did an more than admirable job in protecting that legacy, because to me, at the end of the day, that was an issue between him and his wife. Mm-hmm. And if they're resolved, let's keep it moving.
Right.
So, and because there's young children involved, there's, this is a very traumatic time. If that happened to your wife and your kids, I would be lashing out too. Yeah, right? Because it's personal. Now, I shouldn't go to the vitriol of what my man Snoop did, but when you're an artist, and speaking of artists, I want to introduce our guest here, Mr. Bobby Tinsley.
All right.
He's the executive vice president and co-founder of SkuX.
All right.
Right? And he's going to tell us a little bit about his story, but and you can relate to this, Bobby. when you are in that artist mode, artists wear their emotions on their sleeve, and I'm not justifying what Snoop had said, but if you know Snoop, you would know then that's what's going to come out, right? And he takes it personal because Kobe represented the West Coast to the full. Even though he was an East Coast person, he's from Philly, but he represented LA Lakers Nation, the West Coast to the fullest. So, and what I love, I like to focus on the positive. And when we talked about Kobe a couple weeks ago, we talked about how powerful he made his transition. A perfect example of what a pro to CEO does.
Absolutely,
right? And I think today's topic when we think about pro to CEO is opportunity.
Yes, opportunity.
Right?
Huge,
as you move and retire from one industry, whatever case may be, and going into your next venture, you have to understand and recognize where the opportunities are for you to flourish with what God has given you, right? So, kind of,
absolutely. The opportunism. One of the things we in my company we train, high level, high performers is to really continue to seek opportunities. We call it opportunism, and it's basically displaying the capacity to seek and seize opportunities neatly disguised as risk, which are in line with our ultimate goals and gifts.
That's right.
In essence, you are preparing for the day when your dreams and destiny collide, and they make a new future for you when you didn't think they would. The windows of your opportunity come and go, and your readiness factor to capitalize on them, connected to the opportunity and turning possibilities into reality is the key here. And
that philosophy is huge because when you're an athlete and you practice, your left hand might be weak, right, but you keep practicing on your left over and over again, and then there's that crucial play, then that's that opportunity,
right,
and then you do that crossover, or you do the behind the back with the left. And you break them off.
And dunk. You got some Jordans on?
That's that opportunism. Yeah. Or when you're that artist that you're on tour and you might need, let's say for instance, the main person that's on tour might have a rough day with their voice, and you're like, man, you know what? We need a little bit more time, and then you could just come in, whether it's singing or whether it's rapping, and then all of a sudden it's like, yo, who is this? Right? Yeah. So opportunism is in every aspect of life, and I'm happy to see our partner in crime here, Mr. Bobby Tinsley of SkuX.
What's going on?
So let me do a proper introduction for the man in the hot seat.
Hot seat.
So he's the co-founder and executive vice president of SkuX LLC, a Florida-based technology company. SkuX is unlocking value and transforming the future of the $1 trillion promotional offer industry with its smart, secure digital promotions. The company's patent-pending technology, do you understand? Patent pending, leverages the power of blockchain, AI, and payments to eliminate offer fraud and double spend. Just to let you know, he's a sought-after advisor, entrepreneur, investor, and a former recording artist, like I mentioned before here, who has helped inspire and impact organizations across the globe for over 18 years. His diverse skill set and background, which includes expertise in marketing, organizational culture, performance enhancement, sales leadership, blockchain, and partnership development. He's well known, and he's negotiated major licensing agreements with publishing companies such as Sony, and he's also done deals with Sony Pictures Entertainment, done advertising agreements with many of the largest REITs, which is a real estate investment trust. So when you think of, the big malls like the International Mall, Simon Property Group owns those type of mall, or the Westfield Group here in Tampa. We have Brandon Mall, Citrus Park Mall. Those are Westfield Group malls, and Brookfield Properties, just to name a few. And his experience extends with music, entertainment industry, content for television and film. So bottom line, man, I mean, this guy is a renaissance man to the next millennium, right? So, and in 2005, he was one of the few recording artists in history to have an R&B themed song chart on the top 40 Christian music pop charts. Woo!
Wow.
So, without further ado, we got Mr. Bobby Tinsley Mogul in the house.
What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for having me.
What's up, Bobby?
Thank you.
All right. We're so glad to have you. So
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Well, Bobby, you went from singing to selling. Right? From singing
You're always
to
selling something.
Yes. And being an innovative entrepreneur. How did you evolve this talent you had into being a power executive now?
You know, it's funny. So, you know, for me, all I ever wanted to do was sing. So, you know, growing up, I was the kid, you know, my mom says I was singing before I was talking. So I was, you know, my mom's very musical, my dad's musical. So I grew up wanting to do music, and obviously, you know, that doesn't have a clear path to, you know, success per se. You know, there's a ton of people that want to be artists, and obviously the music industry has changed a ton over the years. But, you know, for me, I just had a passion for it, and I said, you know, I kind of got to that point. I played sports, was kind of seeing if I was going to go that direction, if I was going to go the scholastic route, or if I was just going to go straight up music. And I just had support, you know, and that's one thing that people need people to feel like, you know, they have the people that believe in them, you know, and I did have that, you know, in my family and my friends. They knew I had talent, and they said, hey, go for it. And so, you know, I did the indie artist route for a while. I was selling CDs out of the trunk, you know, the typical story. And we were going mixtapes. I mean, before mixtapes, I was mailing my CD burn CDs at home to radio stations, and Tampa will always hold a special place in my heart because actually the first station is a Christian music station. It's the Spirit FM 90.5. Always shout those guys out, still around today.
All right, that's right.
They took a chance and played my song, and on that station it went #1 in 3 weeks, which spanned like a whole Southeast tour and basically launched my career. And you know, I was blessed to do that for 10 years.
Wow.
So I did that for 10 years. And then the transition to business was more about just kind of seeing that industry change. And one of the things that, you know, I've always been blessed with, and it really started with my mom, was reading, right? So, like, you know, I was homeschooled growing up, so all I did was read. Like, this was back before they had online schooling and all this curriculum. I mean, nowadays, these kids are like, it's like homeschool is killing it. But for me, it was like, you're homeschooled, like you're weird. Like that was kind of like the thing. So, but you know, my mom, one thing she did is she just dropped me off at the library, and she's like, pick out books. And so like I learned how to have an active interest in reading. And so as you read, you start to learn about all these different subjects. And so, you know, for me, I studied the music industry, and I started to see the shift, and I started to see, you know, everything was being, you know, CD sales was going away. And so you had the iPhone and all these things that were kind of happening. And so that's where I really made the pivot and said, hey, I want to start to move more towards the business side of things. And that really kind of changed my trajectory.
That's awesome. So most people get stuck in an analog way, kind of old school of doing business. However, your business model forced you to use some ingenuity, which is another medallion that we love to coach people on. Your ingenuity really forced, or I would say forced you to differentiate yourself and be a leader in your industry. What's your secret, man? Come on, give us some sauce.
That's right.
I would say, you know, for everybody out there that's, you know, an entrepreneur or thinking about entrepreneurship and wanting to go down that path, the number one advice I would give to people is surround yourself with people of integrity. That's the number one thing. So, you know, for me, you know, we've built a lot of businesses. You know, I sit on several advisory boards. You know, from an investment standpoint, from an advisor, you know, we failed a lot, we've won a lot. You know, that's the name of the game. But it's putting yourself around the right people. And as you guys know, right, I mean, you have to have like heart, like mind, like vision people that you're going to war with every single day.
That's
if
right.
you don't have that, it doesn't work. And so you can have the greatest technology in the world. And that's one thing I've learned with tech is that you get, this brilliant idea, right? And then sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes the tech actually matches the idea.
Sure.
But that's 2 parts of a 3-part chord that you need, because you need people that can actually execute that. And that's not just people that, know how to sell or know how to do business development, but that's the right character, the right type of people that can sustain you through the times that are not good, because business is not always, everybody has this false sense of entrepreneurship. Like, it's like, private jets and riding around and stuff. And it's like, even guys that get to the highest level, it's just not like that.
Right.
And that's what people have this false sense. So, doing stuff like this, talking about entrepreneurship and helping people to kind of elevate their game, take it to the next level. That's what I'm passionate about. So
awesome.
All right. Well, we getting ready to go on break. So at the end of the break, after the break, we got some more information from Mr. Bobby Tinsley over at SkuX, and this is Powermoves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. This is In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588.
All right, we'll be back.
Is In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Tampa Bay Tammy. Don't forget to pick up your copy of In Touch News.
Hi, this is Nancy Jacobs, and I'm running for County Court Judge. As you celebrate Black History Month, take the time to remember your own achievements and those close to you. Everyone's contribution makes a difference, and I want to make a difference too. That's why I'm running for judge. I'm Nancy Jacobs. I'm running for County Court Judge. Vote for me.
Hi, this is Dale Day. Join me every Monday at 7 p.m. for Jazz at Miss Connie's house, bringing you the smoothest jazz and the coolest guests right here on In Touch Radio.
Hi, this is Trina Johnson with Caldwell Banker Real Estate, the real estate agent you've been looking for. If you want top dollar for your home or you're looking to make a purchase, call me at 813-244-6953. Again, 813-244-6953, and let me list your home.
Yeah, we back, baby. We back.
Wow, we are back. Daryl ain't playing on the ones and twos.
That's right. Man,
DJ CEO.
You check out this Imperial Blue label water. Can we get an endorsement deal? Who are these people? You know what I mean? Brothers out of St. Pete, man, we gotta get them on the show.
Yeah, this is a pretty bottle.
Yeah, man.
Say that. Look, y'all, check it out.
This is on nice some old, blue.
All right.
Well, anyway, so Bobby, it's funny you mentioned the importance of having a strong team and building a culture, especially spirited around integrity. Now, you and I know in the music business,
oh boy,
there was barely any integrity in that. So, can you share with us some of the lessons that you've learned, and what did you take from the music business? Couple tips that you could provide, because I know what you talked about, that transition turning point where like the Napsters and that all that other stuff came into play, and you saw that shift in the game. A lot of folks lost themselves in the music business, and some of them can't even recover.
Yeah.
But you were able to make a strong transition. Could you talk a little bit about the integrity piece and some of the lessons you learned and how you've optimized that on your new venture?
So from the integrity standpoint, it really started for me with having the right manager. So my manager, Khalid Winston, to this day still manages my business stuff in the music side of things. So my catalog, he's like a brother. His brother is like my other brother, who is my road manager. We've gone on to do other projects together. So, but that really started because, kind of rewinding back, that beginning part of my career, once the singles started taking off and I started generating a little bit of income and started kind of doing the Southeast touring, and then it kind of went national and started doing that stuff. I needed the right people around me, and this guy was like there from the very beginning.
Right.
And so you start getting pitched by all these other people that want to come aboard, and hey, we can do this, we can do that. But I didn't know these people, and I knew Khalid, and I knew that, you know, at the end of the day, maybe somebody else had more connections, but this guy understood who I was as an artist, and obviously, you know, that integrity piece was there. So, you know, back to people, just having the right people around you, that was really key. From a business decision standpoint, I wrote my own music, so I was always, you know, I wrote it, I produced it, so I wanted to own that and retain control of that. And what was really, you know, great for me is that because of the way the deals were structured, I'd have a lot of friends that were signed to like major labels that, you know, had a lot more accolades and clout in terms of the notoriety side, but they weren't actually making money. So like, you know, I'll never forget, you know, there was this group that was, you know, affiliated in our same circle, sold a lot of records at the time. And I was like, you know, 1/10 of the record sales that they were selling. And they pulled up in, you know, the bus that was actually, Prince was on this bus the week before.
Right.
And so they were bragging to a lot of the people about that, like, hey, you know, Prince was on this bus and we're here. And, you know, I'm just doing the math in my head on how much this is costing to go. Recoupment, exactly.
Recoupment.
You know, which
so could share that, because that's
so everything that's getting paid for you, you owe back. So basically, you know, artists, they think it's free money, but they owe it back. So at the end of the day, you know, all of a sudden they're like, why am I not making money? Why do I have, you know, all of these sales, but I have no income? And so, you know, taxes, right? You know, all of this stuff, like people don't get educated on actually how the world works. And you know, people demonize the music industry, and there are some like legitimately bad people, but at the end of the day, it's business. Like if you don't understand, it's a music business. Artists come in and they're artists, and so we want to make music, we want to write, and a lot of time the other side of the brain, that, you know, structuring contracts, like learning actually how to set yourself up for success for the long term, they're not taught that.
Right.
And so, and it happens, we see it with athletes and all kinds of stuff. So learning that side of the game, I was just, you know, calculating in my head, and I'm like, hey, listen, you know, I'm selling 1/10 of the records you're selling, but that merch table over there at the end of the night, we're pocketing all of that money, and it's ours. You can't even sell CDs because the label won't let you, because they're trying to force them to the store. So like when you start to kind of re-engineer how it's working, you can position yourself for success.
right.
Awesome,
Right.
awesome. So speaking of success, you're a sales guru now. So you kind of intimated on this earlier, but why is sales so important?
I mean, like we were saying, like everything starts with a sale. So people, you know, sales to a lot of people is a dirty word because they don't want to feel like they're, you know, I'm trying to convince you to give me your money. But at the end of the day, sales is providing value. So, and sales is solving a problem. So if you go into an industry, you know, we were at Synapse today over in Tampa, right? And, you know, the technology hub, and, you know, 7,000 people coming out from this community to, you know, foster entrepreneurship and innovative technologies, blockchain, AI, all of this great stuff that's going on. The companies that are winning are solving problems. And so it's not hard for them to sell, because they're out there just basically saying, hey, here's an industry, here's a major pain point, I've developed a solution, whether it's tech-based, whether it's agriculture, whatever it is, to solve this problem.
That's right.
And so, you know, that for me, I've just always been very, very passionate about trying to, again, look at the pain point, try to figure out how can I solve this problem. And so the more you do that, the more you start to realize kind of there's a formula to this. And so you can just kind of take yourself out of one industry, put yourself into a different industry, apply the same formula to it, get the same result. You know,
It's a principle thing. It's I love the way that you talk about it as solving a problem, because, you know, when, you know, there's a couple points that you mentioned that I want to highlight. One is, in the music business, the music is the product, right? And you're selling the business. And so artists, as much as they are human beings, they have to understand that in the equation of the music business, you are the product. You're like Cheerios, right? Same holds true for the athletes in the different leagues. You know, they're human beings, but you know what? When you are receiving a check, you are a product. And it's important that as you evolve, that you can translate new skills, such as learning how to solve problems, instead of focusing on sales and saying, what can I do to solve a problem so that you can make a living? Because the more problems you solve,
Right.
the more you can eat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the bigger the problem you solve, the more opportunity there is, right? So like with SkuX, our company, our current startup right now, we looked at an industry that was $1 trillion industry worldwide. Massive industry, massive problem, right? So coupons, promotional offers, fraud. I mean, this is something that impacts CPG brands, businesses all around the globe constantly. So there's a major pain point. So the first part is, we're going into a huge industry, $1 trillion. There's a major problem. If we can provide a solution for that, obviously what that can be is very big, right? So, and that doesn't mean that, everybody's not built to go solve $1 trillion industry problem, right?
Sure.
And it doesn't matter. And that's the thing that, I really try to get across to people is that at the end of the day, you've got to do what you feel called to do. Like, I'm not trying to solve your calling, right? And you shouldn't try to solve mine. You need to internally look in and listen to God and say, hey, what do you want for me?
Right.
And then when you get that clear vision, then go execute.
That's right.
And people pray all the time. They're like, oh man, God, just help me do this. I got to get out of this situation. And God's like, okay, here's a path. And they're like, okay, now I just want to be successful. And it's like, God said, walk on the path. Like, that's not easy.
See, that's key, because a lot of people are looking for the transition. They suffer from what I call samedom. Samedom is doing the same thing over and over again. Over and over.
Expect a different result.
Praying for something to change when you keep doing it over and over.
Yeah.
So let's tap into this. You said it, but I really want you to help people when they're in their everyday routine and they feel like there's this opportunity they want to pursue. You can still do your day job. Now, trust me, like, people are working on their, what they call in the Uber commercial, your side hustle, like all the time until they can get it standing it up. Why are some people able to tap their gift and move on it, and other people stay stuck?
Yeah. So here's my perspective, right? So there's a couple reasons, and I'll use a personal example, right? So when I was starting my career in music, I didn't have connections. I didn't know anybody in the music industry. I had to go out there. I had to meet people. I had to, go through relationships, all that kind of stuff, right? I signed with BB Winans, right? That was a major game changer for me.
Shout out to BB.
BB Winans is my good friend to this day. Great man. But meeting him, I had to be prepared to meet him, right? I had to have a CD that was produced that sounded good so he could come back down the elevator and meet with me and, all that kind of stuff to happen, right? But the point is, in order to create that CD, when all of my friends were going out to the club and I'm 19 years old and they're like, hey, why don't you come hang out with us? And I'm reading music industry books on how to, digital audio workstations, which were very new at the time, that, now any kid can make record quality music on his laptop like it's nothing. I mean, it's amazing. But back then you really had to understand and learn how to do this stuff. It's work ethic. It's like it's sacrifice. Like, and so that's the thing. Like, it's not so glamorous where it's not unattainable. It's just most people would rather live a life of convenience. Most people would rather live a life of just, I'm just going to go to the club. I'm not going to say no and stay home and do what I need to do to be successful. And you brought up a good point. Working the job while you're doing your side hustle. Like, I follow Gary Vee, and, he talks a lot about that. Like, that's a great thing.
Right.
Like, actually having a safety net and still giving your employer, because you're working for them, so still give them what they need. Don't, be, out here and thinking about stuff. Like, there's enough time in the day to be able to work on your dream. But then, if I'm watching 3.5 hours of TV a day, then how am I, so
where's that time coming from?
It's work ethic. It takes a lot of hard work. And then as you start to generate, all of a sudden it becomes easier over time. But that's the number one thing for me.
I love it. Brian Tracy, who's, obviously a scholar in terms of work productivity and people, he has this concept about, which I love, and you're really hitting on it. It's called E versus E. Most people entertain themselves more than they educate. And empower themselves. So when you think about where your E is out there, most people are doing 10, 20x versus educating themselves, and that's where you win the game, right? You have to have that level of discipline. I can remember trying to write my first book, and I used to carry around 2 laptops, and people were like, "Man, why are you walking like that?" Because I really didn't want to commingle my dreams with my work, like my 9 to 5, and then my work on the side. And it was when people were sleeping on Metro North. Y'all know what the Metro North is.
That's right. If
you're not from New York, you don't know. But Metro North is a train that goes northeast, south, etc. And I was always going up north, and I remember saying, "This is my hour of power. I'm gonna write while everybody's
sleeping." That's right.
And I'm gonna be working while everybody's sleeping. And that piece motivated me, and I had peace and quiet. And when I got home, I'd be totally attentive to my family, and I wouldn't be, ruining the time that we had, because I valued that time too. So I think you got to find it. Right?
Yeah. You got to find it. We all have 24 hours in a day. There's no cheat code around that. I wish there was sometimes. but yeah, it's figuring out, what time am I going to dedicate to, my craft, my business, if it's music, if it's entrepreneurship, whatever it is. And we were talking at Synapse today about sharpening the axe, right? I mean, we go through phases. I'm a big believer that, life is in Ecclesiastes, seasons, right?
That's
so there's
right.
a season, there's a time for this, there's a time for that, right? So I believe that you'll have seasons, and you guys know, where you're hustling and you're going really hard. This is a season like that for us. I mean, it's been 24/7. I mean, there's nights, an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep. That's okay. I've gone through those seasons before, and then you go through them, and then you come into another one. Hopefully not too long. Absolutely. But yeah, it's all about seasons and putting in the work.
All right. Well, once again, this is Power Moves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. We're hanging out with Bobby Tinsley of SkuX.
BT in the house.
All right. This is In Touch News, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588.
Come back, y'all. We dropping it. We dropping the knowledge. Come get some.
This brutal weather that we experience every year in Florida leaves hundreds of residents needing repairs to their property. If your home has been damaged or needs remodeling, leave it to the professionals. Call Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing at 813-238-6197. That's 813-238-6197. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing have been serving the community for 43 years. Reeves Building, Plumbing, and Roofing is a proud sponsor of Jazz at Miss Connie's house.
I'm Rob here with Solar Energy Loan Fund, and we can help you finance your energy needs. If you need a new air conditioner, roof, solar panels, windows, doors, weatherization, having plumbing issues, the Solar Energy Loan Fund can help you with that. Even if your credit isn't the best, we will be able to help you replace that old air conditioner or get that roof replaced. Again, my name is Rob Perry. I'm with Solar Energy Loan Fund. I can be reached at 727-315-3223. Again, that's 727-315-3223. Looking to hear from you.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call Herman White at 961-6661. That's 961-6661.
All right, we back.
Y'all.
This is Powermoves, hanging out with the co-founder of SkuX, Mr. Bobby Tinsley, local here in the Tampa Bay area, out of St. Pete is where his office is at.
I'm telling you, it's talent in the Bay. Don't sleep on
the Bay. The Bay is booming.
Okay, y'all been some places today that people haven't got to, but go ahead, man.
Yeah,
the Bay.
Yeah, the Bay is like it's going to blow up big time. And so tell us a little bit more and kind of really break it down for our audience of exactly, what do you do at SkuX? What is SkuX? How does a consumer or What's the business?
So, like a very simple explanation, right? So everybody has used a coupon, right? Whether it's a paper coupon or whether it's a digital coupon.
Right. Sure.
What people don't know if you're not in the coupon industry, which is a $1 trillion industry worldwide, massive industry, there's a ton of fraud in couponing. And that basically that cost gets passed back over from the brand to you as a consumer because, they issue these coupons and people duplicate them. They send them to there's a massive amount of liability that brands carry because they don't know how many coupons are going to actually be redeemed. So all of these issues. So what we've basically done at SkuX is we've created a new category of offers. So we call them smart offers, right? So smart, secure digital offers where we eliminate the fraud in coupons. So, and a lot of our technology is around the payment technology. So, we use blockchain, which is a word that a lot of people are starting to hear about, artificial intelligence. We use payment technology to basically create a new category of coupons. And so these coupons don't have fraud. They're one-time use. So that means that a brand can be very specific. Like if they send it to you as a consumer, they can actually track that issuance of that coupon all the way to the moment that it's redeemed. And they don't have to worry about it being duplicated, 1,000 times.
So what about the people that are like coupon experts and they double, triple the coupons? Are they able to still do that?
In this type of offer, those people are very loyal people. So at a lot of times, brands want to engage Sally, who's a super, coupon lady, versus, Steve, who's just looking to,
casual.
Just getting a casual incentive. So they have the ability actually better than they have before to be able to control that. But to the point, like they don't want a lot of the coupon stacking and stuff that happens a lot of times that is basically they're losing money on products. So this version of this offer.
What do you mean coupon stacking?
Like, taking and putting, multiple coupons together and figuring out how to configure all of this to be able to basically the lady in front of me is getting like $400 worth of grocery and they're paying her. It's what is going on? And
I want a piece of that action.
Yeah, I never understood that. But what we're allowing brands to be able to do is really hyper target and focus offers to people based off of what they want, better engage consumers. We're enabling that consumer engagement with this technology.
Nice. So could you break down what is blockchain, what is AI, and how does this tie into what you're doing? Because if a person doesn't know technology, they're like, what is that?
My barber, or one of the barbers where I go, he is like, I take blockchain. I'm like, really? so help me out.
Well, a lot of times, like people have heard of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
so, we hear about Bitcoin and people think about cryptocurrency, right? And that's kind of what people know of blockchain. But really, all blockchain is a database. It's a ledger. So when you hear like a database system or a distributed ledger that can't be altered, right? That's the beauty of blockchain is that, in a normal system that I can change the numbers. So I could basically say, okay, I gave you, Joel, I gave you $3. And then I can go ahead and change the accounting on that and say, actually, I only gave him $2, right? With blockchain, you can't do that. It's a immutable record, right? So you'll hear, blockchain systems being used in like supply chain to be able to track what actually happened across that supply chain,
so you
right?
don't lose anything.
So you can't lose it, and it takes the fraud. Again, it takes the human error out of it.
So that's why it works with your coupon business.
Exactly. So we're not doing anything with tokens or crypto or any of the kind of out there blockchain side of things that you hear. We're simply using that element of blockchain to track a coupon. So if you think of a supply chain for like, the agricultural industry or in big retail, we're taking that and applying it to a promotional offer.
Right.
And then the artificial intelligence side, that's basically machine learning and systems to where you start to predict what somebody would like, right? So you start to learn the preferences of the consumer, and I can say, okay, I know this guy right here, he's a vegetarian, and I know this guy would probably want an offer that's based around his preferences. And so you kind of tie the two of those elements together, and it creates a much better methodology for brands to target consumers.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So it's real interesting. I got this thought, like, Like, how did you know this is the next move for you? Like, why did you pick
from music, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and so it's back to like our conversation earlier, right? Like solving problems, right? So as entrepreneurs, you go for big problems, right? And then putting the right people around you. So I have three other partners in this business. So I'll talk about one of my partners, Jim Sampe. He was the former president of Valpak, which is a St. Petersburg company, right? Largest coupon direct mail company in the United States, right? These guys, huge business, right?
He was the president.
He was the president. So, he ran that Valpak business. So, again, knowing the pain points of the traditional industry inside and out. My other partner, Kenny Douglas, he's got a payments background. So one of his last companies, they exited to American Express for $330 million. I mean, built it up in 3 years, all about disruptive payment tech, right? So a lot of what we do is in the payment world, right? When you take a promotional offer or a coupon today to, the point of sale, right, where you pay for it,
right,
those offers have to be preloaded into the POS for that point of sale to recognize it. Without getting all crazy technical, that's a process that creates a lot of reconciliation and settlement on the background that can take months. We're treating that offer like currency, like tender. So when you take it in and you actually, bloop, it actually recognizes it and can deduct it off of the receipt. That's all the payment rail. So a completely new methodology of how you actually run the coupon.
Absolutely.
Putting those types of people around and really kind of whiteboarding it out, that's where you start to say, okay, here's an opportunity, and then put great people around it and go for it.
Wow. That's
How important is it for your company to provide excellent experience for both the consumer as well as the like a Procter and Gamble or the Publixes of the world, and things like that. Clients.
I mean, it's critical. Like we just recently did a industry outlook report, right? And we said that it has to start with the consumer and then think backwards. Because at the end of the day, like, again, the tech can be amazing, but if the consumer experience is bad, forget it. Like, and so our service, like, we don't have an app. There is no SkuX app. You're not going to hear about us. We're a business-to-business enterprise solution, right? So our whole SaaS model, right, software as a service, is creating a seamless way for brands to plug in to this technology, retailers to plug into the technology and engage consumers. And it has to be very quick and seamless. When you take it in, it's got to be one click, boom, done.
So is this a Swiss money business? And what I mean by no, sales while I sleep soundly.
Oh,
Can
my
people
goodness.
use this anytime?
Yeah, this is a big business that we're going for right here. And it's, it's global. And, it's one of those things that when you start to really roll it out, it can be really special. So
he's making money in his sleep.
So we're
well, that's the goal. That's the goal. I love it.
DJ CEO got a question. He's coming off the board.
So listen,
the voice coming out of the ceiling. Go ahead.
I heard you say B2B. So if I'm a little old lady standing in line, I got 25 coupons in my hand. Are you saying that when they scan my coupons, that the fraud is right there? It does not benefit the little old lady or the young lady with coupons in their hands. Well, how does that consumer get a piece of your action?
Well,
get a benefit from
a lot of times though, that little old lady, when we're talking about like paper, and we're really focused on the digital side of things, but like those paper coupons, there's just a lot of fraud there. So again, the cost ultimately gets passed back to the consumer because the brands want to sell more product. So, again, like the paper piece, we have ways to actually kind of improve that experience too. But right now we're focused on the digital. So in the digital world, there's so much duplication. We say that a digital coupon is simply a print coupon in an internet form. So if you take that paper coupon and digitize it, now I can send it out to, 1 million people. And a lot of times that fraud, they're over budget, right? So with ours, it's one-time use. So meaning I can send one coupon to Joelle, and once it's redeemed, it can't be used again. Yeah. So that piece is actually really helping the consumer in the long run because the brand has a budget; they will never go over budget. Yeah. So that doesn't exist today in the coupon world. They won't go over budget.
I guess what my interpretation of what DJ CEO is saying is that if the person was used to using it 25 times, but now they can only use it one time, so I still don't understand how the consumer benefits, right?
I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be situations we're not going to solve every single thing in coupons, right? Like, and back to your point, like that paper coupon, right? There are going to be elements of that will never go away. What we're trying to do is create a new category, because brands have been wanting to be able to have a new way to engage consumers and take out that element of fraud. And so that's really the solution on that side.
Awesome.
So do you see a reduction in print coupons and more people using digital coupons with your technology?
Absolutely. I mean, even outside of SkuX, like if you look at the industry trends, I think it's by 2022, 80% of redemptions will be digital. So I mean, all of the trends are all going to this device.
So how many businesses out there that used to print coupons are actually creating this new digital footprint in terms of coupons, or is that being taken over just by the company itself, and there's no special company out there creating that kind
I mean,
of
there's so
product?
many. There's agencies. I mean, there's so many different digital offers. Agencies pushing digital coupons. Of course, you have retailers that have their own coupons. Then you have agencies that work with them. All of that. That factoring on our side this is kind of like, again, a new category. So we're opening up a whole new way to do it that hasn't been done before, which is, really where we're focused. But, as that digital grows, again, 80%, SkuX or not, 80% of these redemptions happening on mobile. That means a lot of fraud's happening, because as that shift goes to digital, more and more fraud's happening. So if we can only think about the size of the industry, again, $1 trillion worldwide, I don't have to go get a lot of it for it to be a very, very successful company, because
and
we're pulling over.
This, keeping people from frauding the consumer, passing the dollars back to us, right?
Oh yeah. Well, at the end of the day, we pay for it.
Yeah, we pay for it.
We're going to pay for it.
Yeah, so the prices go up, basically. And that's really what you were saying is price will go. Well, once again, this is Powermoves with celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. See you after the break. In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone is a star. Call in 813-444-9588.
Hey, this is Tampa Bay Tammy. Don't forget to pick up your copy of In Touch News.
Hi, this is Nancy Jacobs, and I'm running for County Court Judge. As you celebrate Black History Month, take the time to remember your own achievements and those close to you. Everyone's contribution makes a difference, and I want to make a difference too. That's why I'm running for judge. I'm Nancy Jacobs. I'm running for County Court Judge. Vote for me.
Catch my show that will be all up in your business. Let's Talk Business with Cheryl J. Trusso. Every Wednesday at 12:31 p.m. My 3 co-hosts and business experts provide insight for business entities and entrepreneurs. First Wednesdays is Derek Blue, CEO of FAP, building the business blueprint. Second Wednesdays, check out with Dr. Shanae Davis of Your Best You Clinic, delivering our greatest wealth in your health. Third Wednesday, branding your business with Jeanette Diva J. Horge Smith, coordinating and marketing president. Fourth Wednesdays, featuring fashion trends styled by Linda Archie of El Diva Couture Boutique. So join us every Wednesday from 12:31 p.m. to 1:31 p.m. at www.intouchnews.com. Call in at 813-444-9588.
Been in a car crash? Call Ricky. Don't know what to do? Ask Ricky. We will connect you with a lawyer and doctor experience in auto accident injuries. Call Ricky at 844-361-7425. After an auto accident, you have 14 days to seek medical attention. You may be in pain, so call Ricky, ask Ricky for your best options. 844-361-7425. Call Ricky, ask Ricky is a legal and medical referral service. The lawyers in our network pay to receive referrals.
All right, we back. Powermoves with Mr. Bobby Tinsley with SkuX. So, Kev, what you got, man?
We're gonna try to make this quality. Bobby is bringing it. And if you didn't bring out pen and paper, I'm sorry for you. You can replay this on YouTube.
That's right. We'll be playing on YouTube. They're gonna have to pay through Patreon or something.
No. Okay, you got it, man. Tell them. We can break it off in a little bit, but let's keep going here. So, your company has a powerful board of advisors, I imagine.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get where you're going just on just pure knowledge yourself alone. How did you entice these people, these high-powered people, individuals to follow your vision, and why is that so important to have great leaders?
So important. The very first thing that we did, the four of us, we sat down. Once we kind of knew the problem we were going after, then the next thing was we want to build a team of people that are a lot smarter than us. And literally, that's the very first thing that we said. And we identified, literally positions of people. So, Procter & Gamble, you mentioned earlier, right? Like, largest brand in the world. How do we get somebody in industry, right? So we brought on Deb Henretta so graciously. She joined. She was actually an introduction from one of our other advisors, Mr. James Ray, who was, formerly from J.P. Morgan Chase. He was one removed from Jamie Dimon. Major executive. Introduced Deb into the project. She was group president at P&G. At one time, she was responsible for half of their global business.
Wow.
Just crazy amount of revenue, right? So obviously, when you bring people like that and they provide that lens and industry insight to the problem that you're trying to solve, it just accelerates your vision that you're going, right? But that was it. We just said, hey, we need to put these people in these seats. They obviously caught the vision that we were doing, and we just tried to create a culture of people that, are going after this. We're doing it together, again, with integrity, with the right mindset, and it just started to kind of come together.
How important is culture?
It's everything. To me, I have been a part, very blessed to be in some great projects and some projects that have failed. And what I can tell you is that the difference between winning and losing was not always about the technology or the lack of talent or the lack of opportunity. It always comes down to culture. So when you have teams of people that truly believe that they're on a team, that everyone has a valid voice, right? Everyone can contribute. That is priceless. That is the stuff that we wake up for, right? It's not about money. It's not about, building this so-called dream or vision. It's about treating people right, with respect, doing what you say, honoring your word. Like, these are things that I am very, very passionate about. And so with me, like, if you come in our company and you work hard, and listen, everybody's going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. It's going to happen. But, giving it your best, learning from your mistakes, having an environment of collaboration, that's it.
That's right.
Not having integrity, lying, like, that's the quickest way to be like, see ya. Like, I just have zero tolerance for it in my life at this point.
It's awesome. Unacceptable.
Yep. No doubt.
So what's next? What do you see is the next trend? What do you see as vision? Because you keep reiterating that you're a startup, right? You tell us a little bit about your journey in terms of SkuX. You started it last year?
October 2018, we founded the company. So it's been really fast. Now, my other co-founders, we've known each other for many years. So there's a lot of history and a lot of, idea and just, kind of collaboration over many years. But we started the company in October. We raised a lot of capital. So we, funded the company, built the technology, put some strategic partnerships in place, have done a lot of stuff kind of under the hood, kind of, we say stealth mode, right? But really just testing POCs, until we feel very comfortable in unveiling it. And so, this is going to be a big year for us. The next, I'd say next 6 months, there's going to be a lot of stuff you'll start to hear that will come out on what we're doing. We say startup because, we have a vision of changing this industry, and we believe that we can. We have to prove it. Like, there's a lot to prove, right? Yeah. So we are by no means like, we're the stuff. Like, no. Like, we have a lot to prove, but we do have the right people around us, and we do have brilliant technology, and we're gonna work.
Sky's the limit. Yep. So, it's interesting. I see you've done projects with leagues. Can you share how you make that happen? You're talking like sports and things of that nature. Have you had some of that?
So yeah, my partner Bob. He's done work with all the major league sports. So NFL, NBA. He had a sports marketing company. I was signed at one point in time to NBA basketball player Doug Christie.
Oh, okay.
So I worked a lot with Doug Christie. In fact,
Sacramento
funny enough,
Kings.
Absolutely, he's doing the announcing right now. And he actually, so there's a sports product, right? So it's called Rebar. You'll love this. Go to R3bar.com. SkuXR.com.
Okay.
You can check it out. This is a product that's amazing. I love training, obviously the physical fitness side of things. I've never gotten a workout like this in my life.
Okay.
And so Doug's partner is a guy, Tim Manson, who is just an amazing, renowned trainer, has trained some of the best athletes in the world, keeping them on the field, keeping them on the court when, they obviously injuries happen and can end your career. And so we're helping that project get off the ground, and we've got some other, our consulting company. We've got a lot of good projects on that front too. But Doug's a great guy, and anything in sports, I love it.
Oh yeah, man. I'm so glad to hear that you guys are like just having major penetration when you think about how hard it is to break into sports. But you've got some great relationships. So great things come from hard work and perseverance. How important is it to set goals and expectations?
My life went to a whole nother level when I started every single morning journaling. So that's every single day, wake up. One of the first things that I do in my routine is kind of my own quiet time, personal time with God. I'm very outspoken about my faith, right? But, I don't push that on people. So at the end of the day, like, I just believe that whatever your faith is or whatever that time is for you, that you need to get a journal out and you need to write and kind of journal out your goals, talk about what you want that day to look like, be intentional with what you want. Because if you write it down and you put it on a piece of paper, guess what? It happens, right? You can't have it here and think that it's going to actually be applied, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think what the great principle about that is when you have it here in your mind and then you write it down, you're taking action in writing it down, and when you write it down, you see it, and then you need to execute and take more action. So that's great. So what's the vision of SkuX within the next, being that we're talking about goal setting, 6 months, a year from now, and 5 years from now?
It's a good question. So 6 months from now, I would say is really getting the technology out there. So, we've got some really large partners that, when that starts to kind of come out, we'll be able to do some big things in the industry. I would say a year from now, I think we're really taking market share. And then I would say 5 years from now, this is a very disruptive technology, so I think there's a lot of players. I mean, we're already, we say M&A, the mergers and acquisition talks. We've already started those with people because people see what we're doing. We have, right now we have 3 patents. We're going to have 5 patents pending here over the next 30 days. So there's a lot of elements to what we're doing that's a first in the industry. So, where that goes, again, we're trying to stay off of that train and just kind of focus on the work now. But
they're making power moves.
They're making major power moves. That's why he's on this show.
Yeah,
we don't play.
Yeah. So this is you want to wrap here, I imagine, but your story is amazing. We feel motivated. I mean, I just want you. To me, I want you to speak into what you want to speak about to people, to your business, to whatever. Because I feel like you got a message here, and we'd love to close out on that strength. So however you want to go.
Yeah, hashtag love your lifestyle. Hashtag Powermoves.
Love it. Well, I will say this. I got a bracelet on that says hashtag March to a Billion. And so and Joel knows, right?
That's right?
So, but the March to a Billion thing for me, people think it's about building $1 billion company, which guess what? We're on the mission to do that. But getting the $1 billion company is only one side of it. It's what we get to do with the influence we have when we do that. And so my wrapping it up is I want to encourage everybody out there, no matter what your aspiration is, go out there and make an impact, because there's people that you come in contact with every day that you have the key to change their life. And so that is, if we would all do that, and we would, to your point, when you started this off with the Kobe Bryant conversation, take the high road. Right? We can all go negative. It's real easy to do that. But take the high road and give somebody some positivity and watch the world around you change.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. So how can people find SkuX? How can we follow you guys on social? All this, we're
SkuX.io. So SkuX.io. That's our website. Okay. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so follow me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is Bobby Tinsley. So it's just LinkedIn/Bobby Tinsley. And then, we'll start putting more and more stuff out there kind of over the coming months, so you can check us out on social media on that front. But right now, the main part is just we have a LinkedIn SkuX, and then you can go to our website and check stuff out too.
Also, touch base about what you do within the community. You talk about keeping God first. So talk about some of the stuff you do in the community as well, because you do focus on B2B. That's why you're on LinkedIn. A lot of our audience listeners are not as much on LinkedIn. We're going to get them there.
Yeah.
They're more Facebook, Instagram type folks, but in terms of what you do for the community, because not too many people know about that. So I just want to make sure you highlight that.
No, I mean we started this business with a mission to be able to make an impact with the resources that we have. So we're all very passionate. We have individual causes. I'm on the board of Love Our City, which was founded by a great friend of mine, Pastor Urban D. Tommy Colonen, Crossover Church in Tampa.
Okay.
And we're trying to do a lot of things in the community, partnered with the Tampa Innovation District to, whether it's sustainability, economic development, giving people access to jobs, to entrepreneurship classes. I mean, these are things that help us all rise up. So I'm very passionate about that. Very passionate about some healthcare projects that we're involved in. Again, access to healthcare is something that affects every single human being on this planet. So I'm just trying to make a difference, man. I want to be out there making a difference in our community and around us. So.
You got a note you can leave us on, Bobby?
That's right. Yeah,
after I've been talking all day,
I got you some water, man.
We got some blue.
All right.
BLU.
My nights are long, my days are cold, without the warmth you provide me when I hold you in my arms. Feels so long ago that you were there. I think a teardrop just fell down.
Woo! He's married, guys. He's married.
I love you, Jessica.
All right, that's right. So that's a wrap. We ain't got no more after that. Gonna close us out, partner.
Yeah, we're gonna close out. Once again, this is a great show,
Absolutely.
Powermoves, with local talent here in Tampa Bay. And shout out to Synapse Conference. Once again, this is Powermoves, where celebrities, athletes, key influential executives share how they make money, how they attract power, and how they earn respect. Black History Month, baby.
Yes, Bobby, thank you, man. We appreciate you.
We out.
We out. Bye-bye, babe.